afternoon, everybody. My name is Josh Nenny and I head up the digital waste tracking team in DEFRA. So I wanted to come to this forum today to give you a little bit of an update of the work that we've been doing on waste tracking. If we could go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So we came out in July 2025 and we confirmed a new phased approach to digital waste tracking. And what this means, it means phase one focuses on permitted receiving sites entering data about the waste they've received, which is going to become mandatory from October 2026. Phase two, as part of this phased approach, subject to funding, will extend to the rest of the waste chain and exempt sites from 2027. While this process is taking place, traditional transfer and consignment notes will continue during phase one. And a big change with this phased approach is that we're taking an API-first approach. So we're allowing businesses with existing software to integrate directly with our digital waste tracking system, reducing kind of disruption and minimizing kind of burden to businesses. Now, for those without commercial waste software, we are looking at the feasibility and the validity of developing a secondary option. Next slide, please. Thank you. And this is just a little bit of a diagram of what this looks like from October 2026, or the kind of phase one diagram. So as I said, the initial rollout applies only to receivers of waste from October 2026. And the real focus within this phase is testing and learning with our users before expanding to the wider sector in the later phases. Next slide, please. So when we came out in July, we came with a handful of promises. So we wanted to kind of address what we've said and what we said we would do, and kind of how that's going. So when we delayed the implementation and we moved to this phased approach, we committed to staying very closely engaged with the sector and having that kind of industry reality check, I like to call it. So we said we would set up co-design groups, work with users, understand users' needs. And what we've done since July is we've set up co-design groups, which has covered it's covered quite a lot of items, and it's been a real success. So some of the items we've covered is kind of discussing data fields that are going to be in phase one, discussing POPs or persistent organic pollutants, and also error correction in our meeting. And these co-design groups are with a very diverse group of operators. We've also discussed private beta engagement, so when users can come and test our service in a safe and private environment, which has been really, really helpful to get some feedback from industry experts on how our approach to comms and how our overall, I guess, communications need to land successfully. The second promise that we made was around focusing on kind of prioritization, but also the wider delivery implications from our side in terms of delivering it and how that looks from a business or an industry perspective. What we've done is we've conducted a vast amount of user research, and also ultimately implementing this phased approach has reduced a lot of delivery risk, but also more importantly, it's given us the opportunity to really learn from users and listen to that industry readiness feedback. So not just kind of moving away from that big bang delivery and ensuring everyone knows what we're doing and why we're doing it in this way. And that leads on to the third promise that we mentioned, which was increasing that transparency, that collaboration, and those ways of working. We've set up a GitHub page with all of our updates on, which I'll discuss in the next few slides if you're not familiar with GitHub. But we also promise to come to forums to socialize our progress, such as today. The co-design group that I've mentioned is also trying to increase that transparency and collaboration of how we move forward together with industry and DEFRA moving in the same direction. And also from a more technical perspective, and a real kind of delivery element, those one-to-one calls with software vendors, ensuring that they can integrate with our API. An API is application programming interface. Thank you. Next slide, please. Brilliant. So I want to talk a little bit more about the co-design group. And as I said, this meeting started in July, and the purpose was to bring together operators from different sectors, business sizes and regions, and really promote that transparent way of working. Now, what's been really successful with these meetings is these sessions have helped shape practical solutions. So around, as I've mentioned previously, but around that phase 1 data, we spoke about the POPs data fields, error correction, and again, that encouraging that private beta participation. We're also sharing meeting summaries with trade associations, and we're going to expand that distribution to ensure that wider visibility. So if you're not in the co-design group now, you're still seeing the kind of outputs that are coming out of a lot of those conversations. And also, as we move into phase 2 planning, we'll review kind of the group membership to make sure it reflects the evolving scope on digital waste tracking. Next slide, please. Thank you. And I just want to do a little bit of an overview on GitHub. Now, a lot of people will know what GitHub is, some people might not. So when we came out in July and prior to that, speaking to industry, many of you guys asked to follow our progress, and really GitHub's the key platform for this. So really simply, it's an online workspace where we share project materials, track progress, and collaborate openly. So think of it like a transparent development hub. So you can see what's being built, what's changing, and also contribute feedback to the direction we're moving in, but also what we're doing. I think from a delivery perspective, it also supports that accountability from our side to ensure that what we're seeing is what we're doing. And also it gives that consistent engagement between industry and the delivery team. Next slide, please. Next slide is just a few information links that I'm sure colleagues from our side will be able to put out, and however those materials go out after this call. But a few of kind of the information on the left-hand side are more around our policy and a bit more detail of probably what I've spoke about today. And then on the right-hand side, there's a few links to apply to our private beta that's not going to be opening very soon, or is now really open, and also the waste tracking user panel. I'd really want to take this opportunity to promote that, because I think the more opinions, expertise and feedback we get, the better the service will be. And I think one of the key pivots in this project's direction is bringing users and industry and their expertise into this project to ensure that it's a success from day one. And there's also a link there for wider information on the circular economy reforms as well.